The obligation is going to be met. Yes, it's true. Okay, you did your job. But we all know what bosses are looking for.
We get some answers, and we get the rematch.
We won't. I'm sorry.
And the rematch, he'll be able to prove himself.
The duty will be fulfilled. Yes, it's true that you performed your work, but we all know that managers are seeking for solutions. If you don't, I apologize. He'll be able to prove your worth in a rematch. Stephen A. Smith insists that Gervonta Davis signed the Lamont rematch deal, emphasizing that real champions go above.
Yes, it's true. Okay, you did your job. But we all know what bosses are looking for. They're looking for the exceptions to the rules, not the rules. You want somebody that's about having an impact, that's about making sure that it's felt.
And beyond their duties. He contends that boxing is about making an impact on revenue and viewership, not just meeting commitments. Smith maintains that Davis needs to step up and force the fight to happen in order to establish himself as a dominant force in the sport. He got to know, yes, you performed your job. But as we all know, supervisors are searching for exceptions to the rules, not the rules themselves. You want someone who is interested in making a difference and making sure that it is felt. Smith underlined that even though Davis has several career options before retiring,
Wipe the team right back. I'm believing him. I didn't see him hurt or anything like that. I get that part. I saw him hurt when he got popped with a counter from Lamont Roach and he stumbled backwards because he got hit with a shot while throwing a punch in an earlier round. So I'm certainly not going to do that. Here's the important point to mention. All of us got to stand down and give Lamont Roach an apology. I thought that brother was going to get beat down because I saw a dude that was a bantamweight champion. I said, why are you moving up to fight this guy? Why is Gervonta Davis taking this fight? This guy's too small. What the hell is going on? He was a featherweight champion. You a lightweight. What the hell is going on? Why would you take that fight? I didn't understand it. What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to Gervonta Davis, walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time.
he wants to use his rematch to solidify his position in the boxing world and allay any concerns raised by their prior meeting. Given the results of the previous fights, Davis's dedication to a rematch highlights his desire to cement his reputation. Davis has stated that he's prepared to fight Roach once more.
What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to Gervonta Davis, walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punches, left hook, straight right. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
This choice shows that Davis is determined to clear up any lingering issues from their first altercation and is prepared to take on Roach again. White, they returned immediately. I'm going to believe him because I didn't see him hurt on anything like that. However, I did see him hurt when Lamont Roach popped with a counter and he stumbled backwards because he was hit by a bullet while throwing a punch in an early round. The crucial thing to remember is that
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
all need to stand up and apologize to Lamont Roach. I saw a man who was a bantamweight champion and believed that brother was going to be beaten up. I screamed, "Why are you moving up to fight this guy? Why is Gervonta Davis taking this fight? This guy is too small. What the hell is going on?"
I think we know the answers.
Yeah.
I think we know the answers. I think we know the answers,
But we need the
unfortunately.
rematch and we'll get it. But I touched on last night during the live stream. It's the great Angelo Dundee with Ali when he couldn't see and he was blinded. He didn't say go out there and call a timeout, take a knee. Go and run, move until you can see. And just to be able to go out there and call a timeout, it's like being in the schoolyard. Oh, do over. Unbelievable. This has to be addressed. This can't just continue. This referee must be sat down and reprimanded. And hopefully we get some answers and we get the rematch.
We won't. I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's going to reprimand this referee. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not getting one right now. But the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish with the great part. That was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
He was a featherweight champion. You're a lightweight. I didn't see why you would pick that fight. So what the devil is going on? What I didn't know was that Lamont Roach would be the bigger fighter once he entered the ring. He fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen from Bell and Open, he walked straight to Gervonta. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was only 5% of the time during their initial encounter. Davis approached him directly and remained in his face the entire night.
What are you going to do? I love my sport that I've been in for 50 years. I hate what people do to it. I hate it. I don't hide that. I love the fighters. I admire the fighters. I try to defend the fighters the best I can. But that was appreciated by me. To see, I appreciate Floyd Mayweather. I appreciate Sugar Ray Leonard. I appreciate, all those great fighters.
Lamont Roach made a big impact on boxing fans with his defensive skills and ability to react, demonstrating incredible talent and resilience as he went toe-to-toe with Davis, skillfully taking and countering punches. What I didn't know was that once Lamont Roach entered the ring, he would be the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen from Bell and Open, he walked straight to Gervonta Davis, who stayed in his face the entire night. If he backed up at any of them, it was only 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked straight to Gervonta Davis, who called some good shots, took it, and then gave it back body punches, counter punches, left hook straight right. Tank Davis is a knockout artist. But this brother Lamont Roach,
I expected to see a knockout. I expected to see it come at the hands of Gervonta Tank Davis against a dude that I thought was undersized, that I thought was not on the same level. And my God, was I wrong. So I thought it was apropos that on this particular day, more than a week after Lamont Roach showed up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and let everybody know, yo, I'm no joke either. Y'all don't know who the hell I am. I'm here to reintroduce him to the world. A guy that many believe should be the lightweight champion of the world in the sport of boxing. The one and only Lamont Roach joins me right now.
who is also talented defensively, looked totally unaffected and undeterred. In order to ensure that he would not be denied another chance to prove himself, Lamont Roach strategically included a rematch clause in his original fight contract.
The plan was I was going to call out someone in the ring, and then the journalists are like, well, who? I can't say. Well, who are you going to call out? Well, you saw he was in my locker room. And then everyone starts doing the math. The only fighter that came in the locker room of Gervonta Davis was Jake Paul.
Oh, Jesus.
Jake Paul was in attendance. Jake Paul was in attendance with his business manager, Nikisa Badarian. Do the math there.
Tank has taken losses all over the place. He didn't lose in the ring, but in terms of his profile, in terms of things he's saying, in terms of how he looks, he's taken losses.
I'm just gonna say, man, I like Tank Davis. I have a nice working relationship with him, but you cannot deny that his image took a hit, and what it showed to me, Chris, is like every dog has its day. Not in a good way. Like, he's 30-0 heading into this fight. He's the man. He's the number one ticket seller. He's a pay-per-view attraction. He knocks everyone out. He puts freaking butts in seats. That place was full to the brim.
Packed.
With
Like,
weed, I was
sardines in
high.
there.
Weed smoke.
Yeah,
I was stoned. Were you stoned Saturday night? I was a little stoned.
Yeah, I had a headache driving home.
And maybe that has something to do with me walking out of there. But the hate that came out immediately after from fighters, Devin Haney, Teofimo, Shakur, to everyone, Berlanga, to fans who have been just waiting for this moment.
Bud chimed in too.
Well, Davis has talked shit about literally everyone too. Like Davis was on his perch, as like this PBC guy who is just
paid, who puts butts in seats, who knocks everybody out,
and it was warranted. Like, Davis was the man. He's knocking everyone out, and you're selling out. What more can you do in this sport? Like, that's the name of the game: make money, knock people out, fame, notoriety, and all that. So the minute he was going to slip up, and no one thought it was going to come in this fight against Lamont Roach. The minute Tank slipped up, you knew that everyone was going to come out with their pitchforks. Everyone was going to come out with their knives.
This clause guaranteed an immediate rematch if he lost or the fight ended in a draw. Roach's forethought showed his business acumen and belief in his boxing abilities. I am a huge boxing fan, so you understand what I mean when I say that I really enjoy boxing. Are you open to an immediate rematch in my contract? I signed for an immediate rematch when I signed the first fight.
And I concur with Dan Rayfield. A win taken away from Lamont Roach in such a big moment changes so many things. He deserves this win, and I feel like they took it from him.
Chris? Rematch in Brooklyn. Let's run it back. I want to see it again. I was there. It was
Brooklyn.
The energy was great in there.
What about Vegas? Less taxes.
Well, that's
Brooklyn,
that's a good
the
point.
scene of the crime. Go back to it and
They take a lot of taxes in New York.
Yeah, I want the justice in the room.
Well, thank you. Justice in the same state would be absolutely fantastic. Don't forget Lamont Roach Jr. joining us later in the week to discuss this fight, his thoughts on it, his emotions, his feelings. It's all right here on Pro Box TV. Find out when millions are watching.